Hello everyone, welcome again to Indian Story Read Along. Today's story is about different identities. So I read stories about that either happen in South Asia or they have South Asian characters, but we never really talked on this channel about what happens if you have multiple heritages. You're not just from South Asia, you might be from different places. Your family might be from different places. So this is what happens when the story is about a child who is biracial. She is not just from one race, she's from a couple of them. But it's called I Can Be All Three. So she must be from three different cultures. So let's see what this is about. I Can Be All Three. Written by Salima, Alikhan and illustrated by Noor, Sofi. I can be all three. At home, Papa cooks keema and tikka masala. We eat with our hands. Stories of India fill the room. Bungalows and mango groves, pink temples and red sunsets. The rosy dusks sing me to sleep. So there's her dad, he's cooking away, and there is her mom. So this is not something we've seen yet. It's a white lady, and she is married to a South Asian man, and they have a biracial child. So she is learning about her culture in India with all the stories and the food that her father makes and the stories he tells. At home, Mama cooks bratwurst and schnitzel. We eat it with forks and knives. Where are bratwurst and schnitzel from? Where could it be? Do you guys know? Answer to be revealed soon. There you see what she's cooking there. Stories of Germany fill the night. Castles and mountains, old forests and fairy tales. I am woven into those dreams. So mom and dad take turns cooking, and with food come stories about where the food is from. At school, I speak English, eat pizza, cheeseburgers, chips. Books are full of bright heroes, chases and explosions. Flash on little screens like thunder, thunder, thunder. We talk fast. We move faster. So what does this remind you of? This reminds me of the US or Canada. Superheroes, pizza, cafeteria food. And so whatever she's thinking about that, she thinks about her mom as a superhero. Teacher tells us it's almost time for Multicultural Day, where we'll decorate the classroom and celebrate our cultures. Each of you will make or bake a special item that tells the story of who you are. But nowadays, there's many kids who are not just one thing. So the third culture for her is, it looks like wherever she is from in North America, it seems. So she is Indian, I think, and German, and also North American. In class, fingers fly to cut and paste, sculpt and build. My classmates' smiles are bright and sure. I'm making nesting dolls. This kid is Russian. I'm making a dala horse. Oh, says our teacher, I have one of those at home. People visit different places and get artifacts and souvenirs from different places. And her friend says, "What will you make?" Jenny asks me. My hands go still. What will I make? She has her choice. I only had one choice. Should I make marigolds that float like a sun in the Indian breeze? Or should I make lanterns bright as little moons crisscross through a starry night? Or maybe I could make a bird that sings a soft cuckoo into the German morning. Or blooms that spill like laughing bells from window boxes way up high. Oh, or what about my books of heroes with hearts as brave as stars? I could make those instead. So here are her heroes. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was an American judge on the U.S. Supreme Court. Maya Angelou, who was a U.S. poet. Malala Yousafzai, she's a Pakistani advocate for girls' education. And then there's her made-up superhero. Tales of a Galactic Superhero. Looks like kind of like her mom. I try to make the perfect item that tells the story of who I am. But nothing feels like quite enough. I'm sure a lot of people have this problem. This is not a problem I ever thought of. My issue was all like, oh, is it going to be sambar sadam or samosa? So after dinner, Mama and Papa bring out the strudel. I help Mama knead. The ras malai I help Papa bake, and some ice cream. So there's Papa with the ras malai and Mama with the strudel. And they say, which one would you like, they ask. The usual, I say. I'll fix a plate that we can all share. I pile on some of each. Ras malai sweet as golden honey. Strudel crisscrossed in a powdery braid. Ice cream dolloped up on top. We share the dish and I stare at the desserts piled high, all three of them in one, and I begin to wonder. If all three worlds are bright inside me, do I have to be just one? Am I allowed to be all three? Of course. Of course you are, girl. Do you need help with your assignment? Mama and Papa ask. I don't think so, I say. She might not anymore. Maybe she's figured it out. Maybe I don't have to choose. My heart pounds when Multicultural Day arrives. Nearby are Amy's little Dala horses and Ethan's tam o' shanter hat. This is from Scotland or Ireland, from up there in the UK. Teacher smiles down at me. What have you brought? Whoa, she's going camping. What has she brought? I tremble, but I step aside so my worlds are out for all to see. This is what tells the story of who I am. The small bird gives her soft cuckoo. The lanterns glint from wall to wall. The strudel and the ras malai smell sweet inside their dishes. And my book upon the table waits for me. And everyone, look, they're all amazed. They're all amazed. She really went all out for this. How lovely, teacher exclaims. From Julian's table we hear music, dripping soft as rain. Mibira from Zimbabwe, he says shyly, and Ocarina from Mexico. And so look, she's not the only one who's biracial, who's from more than one culture. He's from Zimbabwe and Mexico. Jan steps forward too. A Danking painting from China. Rose Smiling from Norway. Look at that. So she's from a couple of places too. And then our character asks, are you three too? And it looks as though they are. The mibira clinks softly in the lantern light, and the smells of chikenduza and nyango fill the room. And in all of it, we feel the hushed hopes of many worlds wrapped up inside of us. And I think this was really what the teacher was going for on Multicultural Day. India, Germany, America. There we go. She's in the US. They are all tucked inside me, side by side, telling the story of who I am. I don't have to be one or two. I can be all three. Author's note, Salima Alikhan. That sounds like a very, very Muslim name. Typical Muslim name, but let's see what she says. Growing up, I was never sure what to say when people asked me where I was from or which culture I belonged to. When I grew older and became a teacher, I saw that many of my students had the same challenge. I realized how many kids are also wondering the same thing I wondered as a child. Where do I really belong? Am I allowed to say I'm from more than one culture? And if I say I'm from one, does that mean I can still belong to the others? It's normal for this challenge to make us feel a bit like we're on the outside sometimes, especially when so many other people seem to have no problem fitting in. It's important to remember you're allowed to belong to all your cultures and to celebrate the parts of those cultures that bring you joy. Which cultures do you belong to? Do you speak one language at home and another at school? Do you have to behave in different ways at home and at school? How does this make you feel? What do you wish were different about this, and what do you like about it? These are all important questions, even if you do just come from one culture. I guess according to this book, you would say that I am Indian and Canadian. And it's interesting that I thought about all these things too when I was growing up, speaking one language at home, another at school, behaving in different ways at home and at school, not really telling my friends about everything at home until I was older and I was more comfortable with it. So this is a really, really good book because we're not all just from one place really anymore. I Can Be All Three by Salima Alikhan and illustrated by Noor Sofi. This was a really fun book. If you like books like this, and maybe books from Tinkle, Chandamama, different things like that, we have all of that on Indian Story Read Along. So please join us again next time.